Childhood vaccinations. A British medical journal calling the 1998 study linking vaccines to autism a fraud. Listen to this. After a long investigation, researchers say the study's lead author was paid by a lawyer hoping to sue vaccine makers, motivating him to falsify data. Now, that report shows some of the children Dr. Andrew Wakefield claimed had autism were actually perfectly healthy, and some children he claimed got sick after they were vaccinated were in fact sick before those vaccines. Now, Wakefield stands by the study, saying his work has been grossly distorted. He says it's a systematic attempt to crush any attempt to investigate valid vaccine safety. Now at 9, I mean, wow. What do you think out there? As parents, this is really shocking.
Yeah, it's huge, and especially when you have people on the other side, famous people like Jenny McCarthy, who's been speaking out for years that vaccines are causing this and caused it in her son. So it kind of makes you step back and think, whoa, was she misled too? What is really going on?
Yeah, if this is in fact true, it kind of proves that money is the root of all evil here. But then again, these vaccine companies have it in their interest for, it not to be linked to autism. So it's like, who do you believe?
Exactly.
It's just, if it is in fact true and money led this, I mean, what an absolute terrible thing for all of these parents who have been trying to find something. Autism is so difficult to detect, and it's so difficult to live with, and to think that, you know what, we've been duped over money. It puts a pit,
and it wouldn't be the first time, because a lot of researchers across the country depend on grant money to keep their job and keep their livelihood. So we see a lot of times that studies, whether it has to do with science or medicine or anything else, can sometimes be manipulated so that they can keep their jobs as researchers.
You have to look at who's behind the study, because
absolutely.
It tells so much. Let's get right to some of your comments on Facebook. Graham Murphy says, this is an example of junk science at its worst. I think there's some kind of environmental link, but research scientists should focus on finding the actual cause and stop focusing on personal agendas.
Mandy Stewart on Facebook says, I've never believed there was a link between the two. I wonder what Jenny McCarthy is going to blame now.
And Sarah Leonard Ingram says, I think children who carry a certain gene may be at higher risk for autism by getting them, but I don't think the public at large is at risk by not vaccinating. You're putting your children and the public at risk.
Jerry Zeidel Heckler says, I wonder how many other medical studies were done by only one doctor and 12 patients.
And Kim Pahona says, I think it is horrible that we had to waste so much of the research funding to refute what we already knew. My son has autism. He was born that way. Let's move on and actually help these kids.
Absolutely. And Michael Lucerno agreeing on Facebook. This doctor, he claims, is a fraud and a disgrace, making parents out there look like fools believing in this quack. And that's the hard part. It's those parents who are out there day after day. They're changing the way their kids eat. They're changing diet. They're really trying to find anything to find a cure for autism, and unfortunately they haven't. And what a setback today, if in fact this is true.
If it is true, exactly.
If it is true, that is for sure.
All right, also buzzing now at 9.